This module is called What to Post and What Not to Post. All right? And I know you got one more module, this one, before we get to process. That's dessert. All of these are the important considerations and blockages that need to be addressed before you get to the actual technical job of making your content and putting it out. But this is the internal stuff that has to be sorted out to actually make that process happen fast. If these things are sorted out and threaded and clear, you're gonna be making your content fast because you want to. And you're gonna be adapting to the information you get back, the responses you receive, the comments, the shares, the posts, the everything. You're gonna be responding to that with enthusiasm, as a thrill, because all these pieces have been broken up. So, outline, all right. What to post and what not to post. Let's start here. Let us remind ourselves why we do this. Okay? I'm gonna speak personally. I do this because I have been in this industry for 8 years, writing TV shows, writing movies, selling those things, never seeing them get greenlit after selling them, writing books, which is very fulfilling in its own right, even though it takes so freaking long. Speaking, podcasting. Now I'm starting to blur the line into content with the podcasting. But the point of this is all of those big, long-term projects, for one, it takes so much effort to get one of those things greenlit, to get one publisher to say, yes, we will ante up to get your book made. Yes, we will put marketing dollars into distribution. To get one studio or network to be like, yes, we want to buy this show you made. To get the right, collaborators involved and agents and managers and things like that when you need them. And why do I do this when so many other people in my industry have chosen, foolishly, I might add, not to do this? Because this is what travels around minds, into fingertips, into thought, into conversations. This is what travels daily. This is the crackle that the fabric of our community today truly is made of. If you want to, that scales all the way up to politics, world politics, international politics. The president has a huge has a huge presence on social media. Leaders of every industry have huge presences in content. Entertainers, artists, scientists, thought leaders, you name it, right? This is where conversation today starts and happens. Movies, they come and they go. A big actor might put out a movie once every couple years and they have this big moment, and all the people that were little credits underneath that movie, they get to go do step and repeats and stuff and feel good about themselves for 2 months, if that, right? And then what happens after that? They go back in their cubby hole and they wonder, am I going to be able to sell another project? Is my name big enough now? Is anybody going to care what I have to say, what I make? Not if you do this, okay? You don't have to go back and, I hope I get picked, in my auditions, or I hope I get one out of those 10,000 roles I auditioned for. Not if you do this work. If you do this work, you cut the line, because you will have the leverage of the human beings behind you who are saying we like what they do, okay? The conversations I get to have today when I'm going to negotiate a book deal or some kind of deal are very different from what they were, call it, even 2 years ago. When I first came into this business, I went into my first, book publisher meeting. I went into my first TV pitch meetings, and they said, okay, great. Who's this guy? And I had to rah-rah, shish, boom, bah, get them excited about me and try to make myself look confident and look like somebody to invest in and a newcomer and all this stuff. And then they go look at my profiles and they're like, oh, this guy only has, at that time, probably 750 followers, 1,000 maybe, 1,500. around that era, that doesn't mean anything to anybody. Show up with 10,000. That's the first milestone we want to hit. Show up with 20,000. Show up with 30,000 on one app and 2,500 on another and 1,500 on another and 5,000 on another. Now you have a critical mass that actually says, okay, this person, people respond to their voice. That's why we do this, so that we can have a voice to our audience with a short feedback cycle, because I love that. I love being able to put an idea out in the world and see immediately if people respond to it, but also to make some money, to show people if I make something, people are going to show up for it, because look how many people show up for the sound of my voice here. That's what we want. Better deals for ourselves, better leverage for ourselves. We don't want to wait in line with everybody else. That's why we do this. And so, in your process, and I will call this the beginning of your process, right? Because we're going to get to the technical process next. It's coming. But in the beginning of your process, you want to have with yourself a contract, an understanding of who are you willing to be in the public sphere, because this is a public sphere. Do not get it twisted, right? Once you put an image out there, once you put a family member out there, once you put your voice out there, you are now in the public arena with the rest of us. And some people will handle with care, but most people will not. So you want to be thoughtful of that, but not fearful, not overly fearful. I do so many silly, ridiculous things because they're fun and interesting and they're ideas for me and they're creative for me, right? I share so many points of view that people think are spicy or past the line. People have been telling me for 4.5 years now, wow, I can't believe you said that out loud. This is where the conversations happen. This is where somebody gets to understand your distinct point of view. Don't lie, don't make it up, but don't lie in the other direction. Don't lie in the direction of palatability to hope that nobody notices you. That's not what we're here for. We are here to be noticed. We are here to be seen as we actually are. We are here to share, it's called sharing, to share pieces, points of view, ideas, images that reflect who we actually are, so that somebody might stop their scroll and say, that person's interesting. I want to know more about them, or that person's funny, or that person has a really unique point of view on things. They're not going to do that if you show up hiding. And so when we look at what do we share and what do we not share, here are some good reasons to not share something. Because it will hurt someone, yourself or someone else. Because it's malicious. Because it is born out of a feeling that is toxic, a feeling that is going to create a cycle of more toxic feelings in your life, of more painful feelings in your life. That doesn't mean don't post in anger, because sometimes a feeling that you want to convey is in fact anger. That's okay. You don't want every feeling you convey to be anger, because that's probably not going to feel very good for you or for the people who are in your audience. But anger is not something to shy away from as a feeling to convey. If it's a true and honest feeling, we want to share things that are honest. We want to share things that are meaningful. We don't want to share junk. I personally am never going to be the person to be like, yeah, get up there and do all the TikTok dances. Yeah, get up there and, do whatever you see other people doing. That seems to work. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in the long-term value and prospects of that. I think for what we want, which is a daily cycle of putting out content fast, it's going to feel better for you. It's going to be sustainable for you if you are doing something that feels like you. That's what we're looking for. That's what you want to share with the world. If it doesn't feel like you, if it isn't honest, if it's not intended to make somebody feel a feeling that is pure and real, don't share it. If it's meant to hurt someone, don't share it. But if it's meant to be truthful, to be honest, to be even honesty in its humor, even honesty in its silliness, be real, be you, share that way. That's how you decide what you want to share and what you don't. If you try to over manicure what you share, what you're going to end up doing, and I have watched other people do it and I have done it to myself, you are going to create a mirage avatar of who you are on these apps. And you are going to start feeling beholden to that mirage avatar. And you are going to start waking up and thinking subconsciously, what would my avatar do? That's not you anymore. We don't want that for you. We don't want you to become a figment of the internet that you now have to play as a role, because believe it or not, it's going to have implications in your social life. It's going to have implications in your love life. It's going to have implications in your family life. We wish we could compartmentalize the images we see of our friends and of our family on the internet from who we see them to be in real life, but our brains are not that advanced. You don't want to get caught playing a role on the internet, or you're going to be paying down that debt for a really long time. Be yourself, okay? That's the general rule. Be yourself. If you are yourself and you accidentally step in it or you accidentally hurt someone's feelings, 1, you can always delete. 2, you can always apologize. And 3, this is 2025. It happens every day. You might think, oh man, they're going to hate me forever. They're going to be so mad at me forever. If it's not wicked and heinous, you can apologize, you can take it back, or you can just ignore it. And by 2 seconds later, people have moved on to something else, okay? All right, I want to hit a couple other things that are important on what to post and what not to post, all right? This is very important. You know what it feels like when you see a profile when all a person is doing online is trying to get you to buy whatever their thing is, right? Even if their thing is not a product. I'll give you an example. When you go to the actor's Instagram and every single post is a reel of them doing a read, right? A script read, an audition tape, your eyes glaze over. I don't want to watch your audition tape every single time you show up here. Nobody's going to want to follow you. This is like you are programming for a network. It's your network. Nobody wants to watch a network that shows the same TV show at every time slot. When you turn on ESPN, that's a sports-only network, right? But every time slot has something different, a different sport, a talk show. Now there's a commercial. That's what you're programming. That's what you're offering. Different pieces of yourself. And you want those things that you're offering. This is a visual medium, okay? I'm not into Twitter. That's not my sort of X or whatever, Threads, Blue Sky. That is not my domain. I am speaking to people who share for a visual medium. You want to share things that are pleasing to the eye. That doesn't mean pretty. It means less than 20 words of text on an image, not including the caption, which is going to be in the upper left, right? But you are creating content fast, which means you don't have time to sit down and write a dissertation to go on each slide of your carousel. That's not the point here. The point is feeling distilled into images out into the world. Boom, that's what you're posting. You're not doing the sale every single post. Yeah, do the sale every third post. If you're doing 3 to 5 posts a day, which is what I recommend, make 2 of those posts a sale. Make the other 3 something unusual. A video of your dog at the park. A video of yourself singing to yourself. A video of yourself giving a point of view on something that happened in the news that day that lets people into your insights. You're programming the network of you. This is your TV show. This is your chance to show people that if they invest more resources into you, you could develop that into some sort of TV show or larger visual entity or larger creative entity that's gonna have multiple dimensions. If it's just one note all the time, you're gonna lose people. Even look at the biggest brands. Go look at dog food brands. Go look at topicals. Go look at beauty and sports brands, Nike, everything. And they're not all great at it, but the ones that are offering a diversity of content that is almost as unusual and sometimes random as a human being, because that's what content is meant to do. It's meant to reflect us in a fast-paced, varied, multi-dimensional way, okay? The rule, I'm going back to it, is if it's you, share it. If it's counterfeit, don't. You are not one note. You have many dimensions. You have contrast. You have a serious side, you have a silly side. You have an intellectual side, you have an all-feeling side. You have a happy, happy, joy side, you have a woe is me side. Those are all fair and safe to share if you want to share them. Do not try to be a thing because you will get stuck there. Don't share anything that feels like, please, please, please buy my thing. Please, please, please hire me. Please, 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 here's my audition tape. Please. We can feel that, man. We're moving on. We want to see a person or something that feels like a person. We don't want to see solicitation, okay? That's what to share and what not to share. If you have specific questions on that, go back always to the principle, which is this me? That doesn't mean share every part of you, but don't share something that you know you don't feel good about, you don't feel proud of, makes you queasy in your stomach. There's a difference between that and the fact that, yeah, you are gonna be a little uncomfortable at first sharing pieces of yourself. That is the discomfort of entering the public forum. But that's different of having that feeling in your gut that's like, oof, I think this might hurt somebody. Or oof, I don't actually believe in this, but I'm doing it for clicks. Don't do that. Don't waste your time. That's what to share and what not to share. And finally, we are moving on to process. Let me make sure I hit everything in what to share and what not to share though. Yes, yes, yes. Me or my project. Don't want to be selling all the time. I want to give you one more. Choosing a platform. I think that falls into this bucket. I am adept in Instagram, okay? I'm a millennial. I came of age in the Facebook era. That was a very easy segue for me technologically to Instagram, even though I was not adept at Instagram in the beginning when I first adopted it. I like Instagram because it allows me to use visuals and moving images, also quickly and easily create a back and forth with audience via chat features, via DMs, via stories with polls and questions and answers and those sorts of things. That's all my jam. I like being able to listen and offer ideas and respond and engage with the audience in all these different dimensions, including with the metrics that I like to read and look at to see what my audience likes, to see what they don't like, to see what they're asking for. That's all important to me and my business. I believe in the philosophy that is go deep on one platform of your choosing that you are able to use as an apparatus that is natural to you. Could be Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever. Go deep on that until you get to 10,000 followers and then branch yourself out by leveraging that brand, by telling your followers, hey, I'm gonna be over here on TikTok now. Hey, I'm over here on Instagram now. Hey, I'm over here on Blue Sky now. That's what I believe in. Get your roots deep first with your audience and then ask them to tentacle out into other spaces. Doesn't matter which one of those platforms you use first. Don't overthink it. Experiment and get comfortable with it so that it's as easy as, like, I could make a post on this thing. I'm gonna show y'all in my process how to make it in under 10 minutes, but I can make one in under a minute because I've gotten so comfortable using the apparatus that it feels like an extension of me and my voice and my creativity. That's how you're gonna get your production time down. That's how you're gonna save yourself time spent using these apps so that you can go do other stuff, all right? One more module, which is process. It's gonna be very technical. It's gonna be basically a checklist of exactly how I make my videos in under 10 minutes. I want you to be able to use it yourself and also adapt it to your own needs, all right? Bye-bye!